Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And today we're going to talk about one of the best frankincense fragrances in the world, and that's going to be Sultanate of Oman. It's an oriental fragrance and it's part of the Gulf collection from Roja Dove. Now, this beauty was launched in 2016, and the nose behind this fragrance is Roja Dove himself. Now, this is a very, very unique fragrance for me as far as the Golf collection goes. Probably one of the most favorite one for me from the Golf collection. It's very classy, it's very beautiful. The raspberry note stands out really, really nicely in this one. And this fragrance, you can tell that the frankincense is very high quality. You can tell that it's definitely natural and it's definitely handpicked, and the way it's blended is just really well done. I would say it definitely can stand strongly next to Amouage the Attar. It was like the Attar collection that was discontinued a while ago, that you can only buy it in Oman. That one smells unbelievably good as far as the frankincense goes, and as far as like being really realistic. And this one can stand right next to that old vintage Amouage Attar one. Now, with that being said, this one to me, even though it's a frankincense fragrance, on the dry down is mostly a beautiful cigarette ash smoke raspberry type of fragrance, to make it really easy for you guys to understand. Because as I said, Roja Dove, the way he blends his fragrances is just on a different level. And it's very difficult for me to come out and say, oh, it's like this. But honestly, the best way that I can say it's the best cigarette ashy raspberry type of a fragrance that you can get. This one really represents it in a very high classy way. So I truly love this as far as the Golf collection goes. Now, with that being said, let's do an initial spray and see what we get out of this fragrance. God, man, the frankincense, it's so realistic. Seriously. I mean, I've smelled frankincense, the real frankincense, and it smells just like it. It's just very, very realistic. Now, this on the initial spray, it's very smoky. It's almost that cigarette ash woody type of a fragrance. You can definitely smell the oud in here. I definitely get the agar wood in here. The oud is perfectly blended. It's really well tamed. It's not barnyardish at all whatsoever. It's very beautifully done. And it's also very balsamic. Balsamic in a, I would say, spicy way. But in a very beautiful spicy way, in a very fruity, balsamic, spicy way. And the balsamicness also represents that raspberry note really well. It's a little bit, tiny bit sweet, and it's also dry, very dry, and it's also powdery as well. So this is what I get. Yeah, this is what I get on the initial spray. It's just gorgeous. The frankincense is just unbelievable, so realistic in this. And I have to say, I love the bottles, like full gold. And I have to say, there's an older version that the bottle looks even better. The old one has the flagship or the flag color of the country on the cap. And that one is very hard to come by. I tried to get that one. I missed a couple of times on that one. But I finally got my hand on this one. And that's okay, because I truly love the smell and I don't kind of go for the smell. And hopefully one day I can get the other bottle, because like I said, with Roja Dove, you get the fragrance ingredients, and you also get a piece of art as far as the bottles goes. And I usually collect them. Even if my fragrance goes out and I'm done with it, I will definitely keep them because they're just beautiful as far as the display goes. God, it smells so good. The frankincense is probably the most beautiful frankincense that I have smelled. Really well blended, and they're very high quality, and it perfectly represents the Oman country. And what a great decision when it comes to the Gulf collection and creating and representing the smell of Oman with their natural frankincense. A masterpiece as far as the frankincense goes. Now, with that being said, let's get to the notes of Oman and see what type of top notes, middle notes, and base notes this fragrance has, because it has a lot of notes, and let's get to it. So on the top note, you have grapefruit and orange. Now, again, it's so well blended that I cannot tell the grapefruit or the orange in here, but I can tell there are some fruity notes on the top of this fragrance. But the one fruity note that stands out the most, which is in the middle note, it's the raspberry. The raspberry I can totally smell, and it stays out throughout the whole life of the fragrance till the dry down. And that's what I truly fell in love with this fragrance, because of that beautiful raspberry note. Now, the middle note, you get rose del May, you get jasmine, you get violet, and you get raspberry. And in the base note, that's again when you get most of your notes in Roja Dove fragrances. You have cardamom, you got elemi or elemi. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, so apologize if I'm not saying it right. You got saffron, you got gurjan or gurjan balsam, which makes this very balsamic. And then you got oak moss, you got cedar, you got guaiac wood, you got amyris, you got sandalwood, you got oud, you got carrot seeds, you got orris fruit, you got olibanum, musk, and birch. So as you can see, again, we have tons of notes in this fragrance. Now, with that being said, let's get to performance and longevity of Oman and see how it does. Gorgeous. The performance and longevity of Oman, surprisingly, is really good. This one lasts on me for about 7 to 8 hours. It performs really well, and the longevity, as I said, does 7 to 8 hours. So for that, I will give it an 8, or I should say 7. Let's go with 7, because I don't want 7 out of 10 as far as the performance and longevity goes, because it can definitely do better. But again, the dry down is beautiful, and I wish the dry down was more projecting. I wish the dry down was stronger, because the dry down is so beautiful in this fragrance that I wish it would be projecting more when it comes to the dry down. But as far as the initial spray goes, it performs phenomenal, and it lasts for about 7 hours to 8 hours. And after that, it becomes a skin scent. So for that, as I said, I will give it a 7 out of 10. Now, let's get to projection and sillage of this fragrance. Here you have really some monstrous notes. I mean, you got birch in here, you got frankincense in here, you got guaiac wood in here, you got sandalwood, you got oud, you got musk, you got orris fruit, you got olibanum. They carry themselves. So as far as projecting on the initial spray, it will fill up the room, and it will have that very strong frankincense smell to it, which is gorgeous, with beautiful fruity notes added to it, which makes it really bearable, and it makes it very beautiful, very classy. And as far as the sillage goes, it has the most beautiful sillage. Now, this is one of those fragrances that you want it to actually linger around than having somebody coming close to your skin and smelling it close. This is one of those fragrances that shines when it lingers around. When you pass by or you enter a room and you're dressed up right and you're wearing this fragrance, it demands attention, and you will definitely stand out. and it's definitely has that mysterious vibe about it. Dark, mysterious, kind of John Wick type of a vibe about it. So it will definitely go with that. If you're about to take some people out, I would first put this on and then go take some people out. And that was, by the way, a joke. So with that being said, as far as the sillage and projection goes, and as far as the projection goes, it'll do about 4 feet on the initial spray, and that goes on for about the first 2-3 hours, and then after that it goes down to 2 feet and closer to your skin. And as far as the projection sillage goes, I will give it a 7 out of 10 as well, because it could do a lot better than that. But again, the scent itself is just gorgeous, beautiful. Now, with that being said, let's get to the compliments of this fragrance. Now, this fragrance, believe it or not, is a compliment monster. I've gotten tons of compliments with this fragrance. This fragrance is right on top of my collection of fragrances when it comes to getting compliments, especially in my niche fragrances. It stands right with Pearl Oud and stands right with Creed Aventus and all those fragrances. But as far as being a compliment monster, it definitely stands right next to them. I get tons of compliments. A lot of ladies like this fragrance. It's very mysterious. It has the fruity notes in there that's masterfully blended with frankincense, which is very harsh and very smoky, very mysterious, very dark, and it just represents it so well. And if you have the right attitude, you have the right outfit and personality and confidence, and you're daring and you're mysterious and you stand out in the crowd, you will definitely be able to pull this up and you will get a lot of compliments from the ladies. Now, as far as unisex, this is actually very unisex again, because it has the fruity notes in there. So I would say a strong lady with a bossy, strong personality that has her own business and she's very confident and she dresses really sharp, definitely can pull Oman off as well. This is a very classy fragrance and it can definitely work for ladies as well. And if I would smell this on a lady, I would definitely give her a compliment because this is just gorgeous, very classy, very sexy, and it's just something that I would say will be in the hall of the compliment monsters. So as far as the compliment goes, I will give this a 9 out of 10. So let's get to versatility of Oman. Oman is not a versatile fragrance, as you can already tell by the notes and the way I explained it. How you can wear this, this is for special events. You can definitely pull this in a club. It can be a clubbing fragrance because it has a smoky, ashy cigarette type of a smell to it with the fruity notes. So it can definitely fit into a club vibe. It can also be a dating type of a fragrance if you want to be mysterious and kind of romantic, because the fruitiness to it makes it a little bit romantic, makes it really nice. It has a classy vibe about it. So you can definitely pull this off on a date as well. And other stuff like a special event, suit and tie event. You can also pull this off if there is a deal about to be closed down and you're going to be the main person that's going to be talking about the deal and trying to close the deal. You would wear this, you would smell bossy, and it's not too pungent. So that would work for that situation as well. You cannot wear this to school. You cannot wear this every day. You cannot wear this to work because it has a specific vibe about it that it's not casual at all. So you definitely have to dress up for this, either leather jacket and stuff or suits just the way I'm wearing, or something like John Wick type of a suit would work well with this fragrance. So now as far as the seasons goes, I would definitely say fall, really good, winter, also great. Summer, Some places, I mean, spring, I can definitely see somebody wearing this, especially if it's cool enough. Summer as well, I haven't tried it. Some people say that it works well because of the fruity notes, even though it has frankincense in there. I have not tried it in summer, especially when it's really hot, but it might work. I don't know, because it's woody and it's dry. So if it doesn't turn sour and the fruitiness doesn't turn sour, I think it would work. But as far as the versatility goes, again, it's not a versatile fragrance, but again, because there are more seasons that you can wear this, it's gonna get a higher point for me. I would say I would give it a 6 or 7 out of 10. And just because I wanna make it look good, let's do 7 out of 10 as far as the versatility goes for Oman. Now, let's talk about uniqueness of Oman. Is this fragrance unique? Well, you're on my channel, and what do I talk about every time? I always talk about unique fragrances. I mean, every fragrance that I talk about, either cheap or expensive, they are very special. I always handpick special fragrances that are not that popular in fragrance community. Now, some people might get mad at me, especially the Roja Dove lovers. I'm gonna be like, what is he talking about? I've been wearing this before him. I understand. I'm talking about in general public, not Roja Dove fans that I know some of them. I'm not talking about you guys. I know you guys know it, and you guys know this fragrance longer than me. But I'm just saying in general, it's not something that it's just used a lot. It's very unique. It's very rare. It's a gem. And that's usually what I talk about. So because of that, and because of the fact that the frankincense is so well done, and it can stand to one of the best frankincense creators, which is Amouage from Oman, especially their discontinued ones, the Attar one. That one I wish I could get my hand on it. They say that they still sell them in Oman, and you can purchase one, and hopefully one day I can get my hand on those. But this one definitely comes extremely close and can definitely stand very strongly next to those. So it's very unique, and it creates that unique cigarette ash type of a smell, which I've been always looking for in a fragrance. I love that smell. Specifically, that's mixed with raspberry and stands out so well, makes this fragrance extremely unique for me. And for that, it's going to get a 9 out of 10 as far as the uniqueness goes. And that's it, you guys. We get to the end of my video. That's all I have for Oman. I think it's a gorgeous fragrance. It's one of the best frankincense in the world that you can get your nose on. So if you don't have this fragrance in your collection, I would suggest you to get a sample, try it out, see what you think. And the ones that own this fragrance, you're lucky that you have this fragrance. And please let me know what's your take on this fragrance in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And give it a thumbs up for Roja Dove for creating such an amazing fragrances, so classy, so masterfully blended. Every time there's a fragrance that I get from Roja Dove, I get so extremely excited because I know I'm in it for a beautiful ride. And every time I get that from Roja Dove, he's just unbelievably good when it comes to blending fragrances. And that's it, you guys. That's all I have for Oman, and hopefully see you guys soon with another video. Peace and ciao.